Welcome to Liverpool, Nova Scotia, Canada. A beautiful night today here on the East Coast. The Mersey River will take you to the Atlantic Ocean. And built in 1902, the Town Hall Arts and Cultural Centre has been transformed into a community centre for arts, culture and creativity. Liverpool is also a place of sport, and this week the World Junior Curling Championships 2019 are on here. It is taking place at the lovely facility of Queen's Place Emirates Centre. On the broadcast this evening, Korea plays Canada in session 5 of the women's competition. To present the game, myself, Sander Ulvåg, and I'm joined by curling star Laura Walker. Good evening, Laura.
Good evening.
Let's meet the teams. For Korea at lead, we have Kim Soo-jin. At second, Jang Tae-hee. Throwing third draws for Korea, we have Kim Hye-rin. And team skip, Kim Min-ji.
And for Team Canada this evening, we have lead Paige Papley. Throwing second stones is Kate Goodhelpson. Third, Abby Marks. And skip of Team Canada, Selena Sturmey.
So these are all the teams in the competition and how they stack up. Switzerland on top with 4 wins, followed by China, Korea, Russia at 3 and 1. Canada and Sweden sitting at 2 and 2. That's Norway, Scotland and USA at 1 win. Japan yet to pick up a win here in Liverpool. Some other games on, of course, this evening, Laura.
China will take on Russia, both teams at 3 and 1. The United States taking on Scotland, Sweden and Switzerland on sheet D, and Japan will look for their first win against Norway on sheet E.
So we see the teams are ready to get this show started. Korea will throw the red stones, Canada will throw the yellow. I believe Canada winning the last stone advantage in pre-game practice.
They did. They had 2 good draws. One was just about covering the pin. They could just get the measuring stick in there, and the other one was full 4. So good enough to beat Korea's effort, and Canada earned last stroke advantage.
So it will be lead for Korea. Kim Soo-jin to throw the first stone. By many, maybe thought of as the big favourite coming in, but done so well at the World Cups this season. They actually won in Jönköping just a couple of weeks ago, but you can't just walk in here and win gold, I think.
No, you never can at an international competition. There are so many good teams here, and everyone really wanting that win, so everyone's playing their hardest and playing their best.
Paige Papley, lead for Canada. Always a bit of pressure on Canada in terms of bringing medals back home. Of course, now playing in Canada. Is that pressure also on the juniors as much as men's and women's?
I think it's on anybody who ever has worn a maple leaf on their back. You definitely know that everyone's expecting Canada to medal, and you're not playing for yourself anymore once you get to this world stage. You're playing for your whole country, and especially at that young age, it can be a little bit difficult to put that out of your mind. You almost feel it a little bit more.
We'll have a very open end here. Just the teams feeling each other out a bit. But we've also seen this tactic from Canada, actually now calling the corner guard, just making sure there's nothing on the center line.
Yeah, Canada now not feeling that red Korean stone at the top side of the 12-foot is really much of a danger to them, so they're going to take this opportunity to throw a corner, play this end out a little bit, and see if they can't generate a deuce.
Yeah, I think this is really smart play by Canada. I'm surprised that other teams aren't quite picking up on it. They've been doing this against all the teams they played.
15-2.
Taking a look at the rules of play, it is 6 minutes minimum. Game is scheduled for 10. Both teams with 38 minutes of thinking time. And we have 1 60-second timeout per team as well, if they choose to call it. That guard does slip into the rings, so not sitting in the free guard zone for Korea, and second, Jang Tae-hee will be able to make the hit. Very young Korean side, been very impressive this season. They will also, I believe so, represent Korea at the Women's World Championship as well in Silkeborg, Denmark.
It's fantastic. They've had quite the year of international competition for such a young team.
Kate Goodhelpson.
Medium up. Just medium. Just medium up. 9-5. Okay.
Selena switching tactics here. Thinking maybe the blank is the way to go. Throwing another corner guard, you might see Korea try to sit to. She'd rather not get forced to a single point, so going for the blank.
Line's good. Line's good. Halfway. Halfway tight. Halfway. Switch, not curling. Half. Hard page. Take a look, just half tight. Just half tight, take a look. Oh, take a look, take a look. 16-8.
Kim Hae-rin at third for Korea. Usually very accurate with these up weights. This one will just stick around.
That could just be a factor of early ends. First end, not 100% sure what that's going to do, or maybe a little bit fresh pebble, which can sometimes make it curl a bit more. But a great opportunity for Canada to bury one around this corner guard.
Abby Marks.
Room. More than you. Room right now. Top 8. Top 4. Top 4. Room right now.
Left-handed. This will be her out turn. Or
So-
we could just stick to the clockwise and counterclockwise to make it easier.
Gotta finish.
Easier, I think that's more confusing for me. That's only because I'm right-handed. I see it that way, but she, with her out turn, might run a little bit straighter than the rest of the team's in turns. This one does get buried, but quite deep into the ring, so they can probably get at this one as your Team Korea.
30. 다운도 괜찮아. 다운까지.
Gonna chase this yellow.
수진. 계속 와, 많이 없고요. 수진 계속 가. 더 와야 돼. 오늘 라인 너무 안 맞아 지금 다들.
He's able to remove it from play,
I'll give you less.
but rolls out, so leaves a free draw again around the corner. Can hear some feedback there from Kim Min-ji, telling her sweepers probably a note to give back to her third.
Still a little bit of room.
It's always good feedback to have as a player, listening to your skip and hearing how they thought that you threw it.
I don't speak Korean, but I assume
I wondered.
could it be something like that?
You speak about every other language. Is this the only one you can't speak?
Just behind people. 15.
And that's a much better draw here.
안 떨어지니까 잘 봐야 돼 라인. 루미면 앞에 세워.
Looks like
A8 루미 수민아 7.
Korea can't really see enough of that. No, that's fully buried, so they'll have to chase this another way with the draw.
Yeah, great shot by Abby. Selena did tighten the broom up a little bit. You heard her say she was going to give her less ice, so happens often in the first end. You don't quite get it right, but making that adjustment quickly is going to be key to figuring out these ice conditions.
And this young team of Kim Min-ji, they've played quite a few World Juniors already, starting in 2016, where they did medal, picked up the bronze, then went ahead and lost the bronze game the year after, and then last season finished 6th. So at junior level, it's basically gone downhill a bit. But of course, in women's play at the World Cup, making 2 finals, winning one of them, you would expect them to be in the playoffs this season. That one just not curling enough for Kim Min-ji.
No, she had great weight.
Just bump, or else we're gonna whack her on out. Yeah. Just try and get, like, I think that's max separation that you can kind of get without killing that one.
You can see Canada would quite like to hit that red and roll away, but there's a slight chance if you catch it too thin, you might kick out the yellow a bit.
Yeah, you did hear Selena say they can only roll it probably into the forefoot somewhere without killing their yellow one, which means she would hit it out of play.
We can roll without killing ours though, because it's right side by side. Okay.
So they'll only try to roll it just as far as they can to keep both yellows in play.
Selena Sturmey.
Bump, lead, bump up, little up, lead, whoa, 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 bump up. Want me to go? Yeah, yeah.
This one just hanging wide. Does seem to run just a little bit straight down this path.
Okay. What was that?
That's not enough to kill the red even.
1번.
Now even the draws here really aren't curling that much. Saw Korea under curl and Canada have to tighten up the broom to make their second come around attempt.
돌림 괜찮을 것 같은데.
여기도 괜찮아. 이렇게만 쓰면 돼.
오케이. 라인.
똑같이 잡고.
Could split the rings here, but just play this draw.
또 좋아.
You could
몇 나왔어?
corner freeze the yellow,
여기도 좋아.
maybe even your own, and probably leave Canada having to draw further one.
Yeah, if you can put that right in the pocket of those two, which is very similar to what she just threw, Canada has a lot of pressure on them drawing against 2 in the first end.
8.
라인 더 크게 돌아와.
수진이가 7.
8. 라인 아직 망해룸.
Very positive throw, lots of rotation.
야 진짜 망해룸이야.
I make the stone track a bit
더 떨어져야 돼 여기.
before making a late finish.
더 떨어지게. 아니 플린. 아니야 수진. 좀만 더.
Waiting on the curl, now the sweepers trying to drag it far enough for second shot, which they do. And you can see Sturmey already calling the draw.
Yeah, that's a really nice shot. Korea may have talked before this game about maybe a scouting report on Team Canada and whether they would prefer to have Selena Sturmey playing a hit or a draw. If they prefer to have her draw, that come around the corner guard that she just played is definitely the right call. Maybe you want to make her hit, you could split the rings, leave it in the wide open.
Now you do play a lot of draws in practice, but normally you end up playing a lot of draws for hammer, and that's coming the other way. So now they're playing the opposite way on the sheet. Could it be a little different?
It certainly could. Usually you get more sweeping coming towards the home end because of that draw to the button. Not as much sweeping going away, so you might see it die a little bit here. The paths just aren't quite as keened up.
Just C-line.
Sweeper seeming pretty happy though.
Keep to the 4. Good, top 4.
And this is a good draw by the Canadian skipper. Just easily swept into the top 4. That is 1 for Canada. And a 1-0 lead after one end of play.
15-1. What's that time? 15-1. Yeah, like it's already not as fast in the middle. Yeah, a little bit. When they were throwing draw to the pin like 15.
가드는 둘반. 좀 약하게 차면 괜찮을 것 같아. 좀 릴리즈 많이 해준 것 같던데.
근데 발차기 조금 줄이는 게 나을 것 같아. Weights close. Fizzles similar to Selena's. Thank you. Top 4. Line's good. Room if anything. Room, not curling. Running. Top 4. Okay, switch if anything. 8. Top 4. 15-4. Yeah.
Canada comes into the house with their first one. Korea throws the corner. Now, couldn't they apply the same tactics that Canada has done this week and did do in the first end? Hit that yellow, roll to the wing, have Canada hit it, and then throw a corner guard with nothing on the center line bothering them.
They absolutely could do that, and especially only being down 1, it's a pretty smart call to keep it a little bit more open and not take many risks. But Canada also knows that having Korea blank the second end and force them to take hammer into the odd ends, it's not a bad thing. So throwing their second one in, maybe trying to get Korea to keep play into the rings and maybe keep that blank alive.
Wall, room. Back 4. Room. Back 4. Back room. 4, back 8. Wall then.
Already thinking about the even ends, isn't it? Too early. So much can happen in 8 ends.
A lot certainly can happen, but I don't know if it's really ever too early to think about those things. If the rest of the game goes as planned, even if then you just trade singles, having hammer in the right ends is so huge. Of course, if you see an opportunity to go for a multiples point score in the wrong end, the odd end, or whatever it might be, you certainly go for it, but
you think some teams focus more on playing the scoreboard in the even ends than other teams, or some teams not as concerned about that and just go for scoring every end no matter what?
Yeah, every team's a little bit different. Some teams just really want to get that lead and get as many points as they can, and other teams are comfortable keeping the game close and knowing that if it comes down to last rock, they're pretty happy. Even the blanking these ends here for the team with the hammer isn't always about the odd and even ends, but just about having one more hammer than the other team.
Coach for Team Korea, Lee So-jin, must be pretty happy with his young team's performance. All of them from Chuncheon, Korean region, just north and South Korea, kind of between Pyeongchang and Seoul, but just a bit north.
Always busy.
Familiar face, Laura?
Yeah, Amanda's coached at a few World Juniors in the past. Amanda Dawn St. Laurent is a coach with the University of Alberta program, and they've had quite a bit of success at the junior level over the past few years with their teams going to and winning Canadian juniors. So great asset to have Amanda. She's had a lot of experience at these events. Korea finally making a roll, but rolling into the open. However, with that roll, it at least forces Canada to go out and hit in a new spot. So often when you see teams trying to hit and roll, they nose after nose after nose. And even just by rolling to a different spot, even if you're not fully buried, you're forcing the other team into a new path. Something to think about.
Well, I think it's much better rolling too far than not enough, because if you roll out in the open wing, your opponent hits, and if they don't roll back, now, you know.
Opens it up for you to play a draw if you prefer to.
Exactly.
As you see Korea do now with that rollout by Abby Marks.
Just kind of tempting your opponent away from the center line. Open up that scoring area. Didn't seem to finish too hard towards the Scotland-USA game. Going up the first end. I wonder if it might be some more curls coming the other way.
It's possible for sure. Most of the sheets that we've seen have had a little bit of a slant to them.
See, this one not curling a whole ton either. Of course, the Korean girls very positive with their throws. This one a bit heavy as well.
You do have to be a bit careful with those positive throws right on the center line. That can be a tricky spot. You get caught on the other side, it won't curl, and if you're a little bit soft and get it across center line early, it will really curl on you. So sometimes that can be a tricky spot when you're trying to bury around corner guards and navigating that center line.
Close up. Wait's clean. Wait's pretty good. Top four, T. Yep. T. Yep. Top four. Forward. T. Back forward. Back four, back eight. Forward. Back eight. Forward. Back eight. Whoa.
14-8. Okay.
14-8 and ends up back 8 foot.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Big reason as to why I think we've seen a lot of draws heavy this week. We haven't seen too many come up short. If there are misses, they're usually on the heavy side because how fast this ice is. Really want to focus on using your sweepers out here.
아직 라인 아직이야. 조금만 넣어줘.
I honestly think that's good for Hawk, trying to get to
Really nice weight there from Korea. But again, not getting the curl in that spot.
Just hack.
Okay. Hack?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a good path here, so.
Yeah.
Hack up. Speed. Good hack. Speed. Yep. Good hack. Whoa. Hack. Hack down. Close. Keat. Hard, Keat. Hard.
Just able to avoid the jam at the back. Canada sits 3.
13-4.
The weight control on that shot was the key to having it being made by Selena. Really common to see those overthrown.
이거 2개. 핵.
Kim Min-ji going to throw hack weight here to, I think, maybe even try and make the double right back. Pretty lively rocks, pretty quick ice. Hack is probably just enough to get those 2 yells out.
The second rock is so far back in the ring, she doesn't have to move them all that far, even if she doesn't get them all the way out. keeping the shooter in a good spot is more important.
That will end up just sitting in the open here. Pretty straightforward for Selena Sturmey. Make the nose hit. Then I'm not sure if Korea can nose hit back. They might have to draw.
Yeah, I think a nose hit here is perfect. Korea will probably be forced to draw, if not play a double. And if they do have to draw, those yellow ones are kind of in her way.
Medium. Clean. Medium. Wall. Wall. Good medium. Clean. Wall. 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 Wall.
Seem to give that maybe a little extra and. Does sit in time. And will be the draw for Korea. Facing 3. So this would be the way coming home, where they were drawing for hammer. But of course, Korea, they were drawing for hammer in the first practice.
Like the
Be a little bit different.
Ice can definitely change quite significantly from first practice to the second end of a game here. So they should have a pretty good idea, but sweepers will want to communicate what they're seeing as far as paths to their skipper here.
Kim Min-ji made 2 good draws in the first end towards the wing going away. I think speed should be pretty similar. It's been quite uniform this week. We haven't seen too many teams come up way short and baffled by it. But this one's a bit shy off the bat. Sweepers working it really hard. Kim Hye-rin, vice skip, coming out to help as well. Needing to drag this. Canada is sitting 3. Needs full 8-foot here to make sure they score a single. I'm not sure if they'll get there. That is one real good team sweep, but it's not enough. That's got to be 1 for Canada. Abby Marks just going to have a look.
Yes.
And can confirm that it is a steal of 1. Fantastic sweeping effort by the front end to make sure it was only the 1. Canada leads it 2-0. Taking another look at the effort here, just keeping it up all the way down. No sign of fatiguing there, the sweepers. Good job, but 2-0 for Canada.
It's like 15-2, 15-5 to the wing. Yeah, because your 14-8 slipped like almost full back 12. Line's good. Add it a little bit. Width close. Rim. Top 4. Rim. Rim. Line's good. 14-9.
Got some Canadian fans behind the scoreboard. I believe a bit of a bar area for the fans to come real close to the action.
I'm sure the parents love the bar area. They're probably feeling pretty nervous back there.
I can see Korea now putting the corner guard on the other side of the sheet. Didn't seem to finish huge this way either.
Tight dividing. I still like this way.
With throwing those corner guards, you're almost better off making sure that they're a little bit too wide, if anything. Being that close to the center line as they are, if Paige Papley can put a good guard on this rock in the forefoot, it's going to be difficult for Korea to even utilize their corner guard. There won't be much of a hole through those two guards.
Whoa, line's good, line's good. Top 12. Tight top 12. Just by itself, by itself. Top 12. Stay close. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Tight. Whoa, 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 whoa. 16-2. 일곱. If you tap it, it's okay, but you just got to get to the inside. Line's good. Close. Top four. Top 8. Top 4. Room. Switch. Can't bounce with this line. Top 4. Gotta leave it. No, gotta leave it. No, Abby. No. Top 8. Pulling down. Top 8. Top 12. Okay, yep. Top 8. Just we were never getting to the inside, so. Yeah, no, that's fine. 15-3.
Kate Sweepers couldn't really help her with that one because of the line being as wide as it was.
Korea women have never won the World Juniors, but they've been close. Back in 2014, lost the final to Canada. And that team was skipped by Kim Kyung-ae, who of course played third for Kim Won-jung at the Olympic Games in Pyeongchang, where they also finished runners-up. As I mentioned, this team picking up bronze in 2016. And on the men's side, they picked up one medal, and it was gold. 2017 at home in Gangneung.
Something about playing on that home ice that gives you a little extra fire.
A pretty big moment. Winning gold on the last stone of the Olympic venue. Korea definitely have grown quite a lot since.
Curling in Korea has become a force to be reckoned with. You know you're always going to be in tough when you're playing a Korean team. They all have incredible mechanics, very technically sound, and it's so much easier to be a consistent player and give your skip something to work with when you can throw the same way every time.
여기까지 괜찮아. A를 막 꺼야 될 것 같은데. 막 꺼가는 게 더 쉬워. 많이 세면 안 돼, T야. 그냥 T야. 그리고 8. 라인 그대로 가. 올리지 마. 그리고 라인 가야 돼. 라인 좋아. 8. 라인 스위치로. 8. 같이 와. 계속
Some
Firm.
proper intensity
Very firm.
from this Korean team. You see some teams are pretty laid back, pretty cool and calm, and then we have some teams are extremely intense, a lot of fist pumping and high-fiving. Is there a right or a wrong?
No, I think it's whatever works for your team. Some people, that extra emotion can get them a little bit too fired up and maybe cause a little bit of extra adrenaline that doesn't help them. But for other people, they might need to be at that activation level to play well. It's all about figuring out what actually works for you. But you definitely know when this Korean team is out there on the ice.
Does it affect your opponent, do you think? If you're showing a lot of intensity, could that affect your opponent in any way?
I think it could. I think it depends on who you're playing, and that's why having a strong mental game, working with a sports psychologist and those sorts of things is so important. Because what your opponent does really should not affect you. You shouldn't allow it to affect you, but it can be really hard not to let it affect you. So having some strategies in place to deal with that if it is something that bothers you while you're out there can be a big key to winning these championships. As they say, control the controllables, and what your opponents are doing is not something that you can control, so there's no sense in worrying about it.
사이를 줄여. 아니 턴을 줄여야 될 것 같아. 턴이 많아. 뭐든 줄여야 될 것 같아. 내 거 더 높게 불러도 될 것 같아. 태한테도 말해.
Medium. Clean. Clean. Yup. Yup. Whoa. Whoa. Yup. Yup. Fart. Fart. Whoa. Yup. 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 9-6.
턴이 많아서 그런 것 같아.
얘들아 웨이트 맞춰야 돼 이제.
내 거 좀 더.
잘 봐야 돼.
참해. 근데 웨이트를 잘못 말했으니까.
수진아 라인 잡아.
라인 좋아. 라인 좋아. 웨이트는.
대종아 라인.
라인 좋아.
웨이트는.
테이야 테이.
대종아 그냥 와 약해.
테이야 계속 가.
대종아.
테이야 계속 가. 좀만 더 가야 돼.
할것 같아.
계속 가. 야 피야. 너가 테이야 좀만 더. 좀만 더 떨어지게. 너가 계속 가. 그렇지. 이렇게 많이 안 좋아 보였는데 처음에.
말렸어.
내 거 많이 안 떨어지니까.
아니 그냥 오르면 안 돼.
Actually, I like throwing easy, I think, just because it's cross center, yeah.
You're going easy or bump?
I think she called easy. Just ask her. So that's what she was looking at. I don't mind easy, most of it. Yeah. Easy? Okay. Just roll under? Yeah, okay. A hair less, Abby, that looks like a lot, yeah.
Easy up. Easy up. Whoa. 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 Easy up.
Oh no.
Maybe getting caught a little bit on the center line here. We've seen this run pretty straight.
한 번 더 하는 게 나을 것 같아. 오케이, 한 번 더.
숨는 게 1번인 것 같은데. 너무 안 떨어진다.
웨이트 8인데 일단 숨기자.
Korea has struggled a little bit to get the line in this path and bury their shooter. So you have to wonder if they're starting to tighten up the ice a little bit.
3, 2, 3. 3.
많이 안 했어. 라인 좋아, 웨이트
Pretty positive release there. This might run on the other side of center line.
조금만 더 해.
Oh, calling on the sweepers here. And again, Kim Hae-rin out to help. Big team effort to try and get this past the guard. Just didn't have a lot of weight.
No, just a little bit light. Her line would have been perfect, I think, if she had weight to get into the 8-foot.
Okay. I honestly like there. I like it. Decent amount. We're borderline slow path here.
Okay.
It's very similar to Kate's ice.
I'm thinking like a 14-8, 14-5, because mine was like not too bad. It ran okay.
Yeah, I want to throw it back 4-ish.
Okay, I like 14-8, 14-5.
Okay.
Close up.
We'll get the hog-to-hog clock up on the screen. So the girls probably talking for 15 seconds, maybe a touch more for just T-line weight.
Yeah, they were looking to tap this one, so they asked Selena for a 14.5 to a 14.8. They got a 14.4.
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
Seems to be the correct weight as it taps that one right onto the forefoot.
That was not back 12.
So really good information from the sweepers to Selena.
Tough to score now for Korea, really.
해도 맞고 와야 되는데. 걸릴 것 같은데? 많이 안 보이지? 어려울 것 같아.
They're looking at a double. They also have the tap on their own red rock on the center line. That's a tight guard.
I think that's maybe the easiest shot.
이게 나을 것 같아. 근데 맞더라도 살짝 걸려. 맞고 내려가야 될 거야. 맞고 내려와야지. 범퍼? 범퍼.
Thinking about hitting and rolling, actually.
범퍼. 여기 좀 닦아가. 오케이.
Playing this call is probably just more about not wanting to give up more than a steal of one by playing this hit. If you're close, you guarantee it's not more than one. If you play the tap and you miss, Team Canada, I believe, is sitting third shot at the back as well, so you could give up a steal of 3.
Earlier, though, than other games as well. It's like, makes me a 14-9 top 10 defensive shooting.
Last stone third end. It's not been working fully for Korea so far. This is a really tough hit and roll to score one. Trying to hold the line here, at least to get second shot. But they won't. Rolls that yellow into the 8-foot. It's a steal of 2. Canada just running away with this game so far through 4 ends, but there's still a lot of game left.
많이 말려.
But for now, Canada up 4-0 on Korea.
범퍼랑 핵 같은 거 찰 때 기분 약하게 차는 거.
몇 나와?
Saying like a shot 14-5, 14-8 to T.
Yeah, especially on the out-turn path going this way.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you the intern just to kind of
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
test it.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Also, like throw 14-8, hopefully.
I think 14-8 is close.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool.
I think the out-turn going. 16. Top 8. Top 12. I didn't love her release. If we get in a curly spot, it's not going to play well. Okay.
4-0. Canada leads it. What have Korea done wrong so far?
They're just not that precise on the line with their draws, and they're playing a pretty aggressive game. I like the calls that they're making, trying to come around some corner guards, but just not quite getting the line and allowing Canada to hit and roll and leave some clinkers around the sides of the rings, and just not precise enough on their last shots. On that last one in the third end, Korea could have been really anywhere kind of on the high side and at least only given up a steal of 1 and over curled and ended up with a steal of 2. They're just on the wrong side of the inch, not quite playing to the tolerance.
This corner guard slipping into the rings as well. It's not improving.
No, that's a horrible feeling as a lead when your team's down a few points. You really need to get something going, and that first guard slips in.
I literally just kept going out.
You almost have a feeling of trying over again next end. But Korea will throw another corner, and with 5-rock rule, Canada won't be able to hit it.
좀 더 간다.
둘이야, 둘.
둘 반.
아니야, 둘이야, 둘.
웨이트 괜찮아.
여기.
둘 반.
오케이, 오케이.
샷.
잘했어.
That one has much better weight.
너무 세게 쳤어.
그냥 괜찮아. 잘해줬어.
Yep, it's a good thing about the 5-rock rule. Leads will always get a second chance.
Line's good.
Although in this case, being down 4-0, you'd really love to utilize 2 guards out front.
Room, switch. Top 4.
Yeah, but under the 4-rock rule, sometimes you put that first corner guard into the house. The end is over.
End is over, yeah.
So you throw a second corner, your opponent can start peeling it. So
There are lots of rocks in play here, and not
15.
necessarily all in a line for Team Canada. This one slipping behind the tee line. So definitely enough rocks in play for Korea to get something going here. All they need is a deuce to get back in this game.
아직 괜찮아.
3까지.
몇 나와?
1부?
나 2. 스스로 맞냐?
괜찮아 보이네. 안 떨어지니까 또 잘 나가는 거 같아.
No. Clean. Nice throw.
well, Canada appeals the corner guard, only yellow rocks in play.
Yeah, Selena briefly looked at coming into the house again, but with the scoreboard and the fact that she's already sitting 3, just get rid of that red corner guard, and there's nothing in front for Korea to use. They have to make a perfect freeze here, and even if they do, you still have 4 rocks to get yourself out of it. Much better on the second attempt at that freeze. The first one sliding all the way through the rings. This one stopping right in front of that Canadian rock back four.
Easy. Yup, yup. Easy. Forward. Level up. Forward. 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 Forward.
Nice shot.
Pretty good
10-5.
effort by Abby Marks. Would have loved to sit it right on top of the red, but not easy to deal with that yellow for Korea.
No, and you've kicked the other red out into the open and now kept your rock the one that's in front of the tee line and in front of the opposition stones.
어디 여기?
괜찮을 것 같은데?
여기 위에 붙어야 돼. 예린아 여기도 괜찮아.
오케이.
Korea knows that
A7 약하면 6.
any hit on this yellow one will leave Canada a double.
오케이.
Just playing a draw, I believe, into the top of the house. Maybe try to set something up for later on, maybe create a jam opportunity.
라인 좋아. 라인 좋아. 7. 7. 기다리자. 안 돼. 6으로 가야 돼.
아니, 루미야.
8.
뒤에 떨어지고 있어. 그냥 클린하면 될 것 같아. 테이 만져.
안 돼. 기다려. 손이 너무 많아.
떨어져야 돼.
Don't want to bounce off here.
몇 나왔어?
Pretty frozen.
Yeah, because of where that Canadian rock is in the forefoot, it's tough to hit this in a place to remove both reds, but knowing that, Canada will just throw a quieter weight takeout and try to sit right on the nose again. Control the front of that forefoot.
A little wider this time.
That's good.
So kills one red, leaves it
9-5.
pretty much the same as it was.
Selena did ask for easy, which would be about a 10.5-second takeout, and heard her say that that was 9.5, so just simply overthrown by Abby, and that's why it ran so straight.
괜찮을 것 같아.
Be good and positive with it. That's just added.
오케이.
얘들아 7이야. 웨이트 잘 봐.
좀 더 했어.
라인
클린해. 라인 넉넉해. 라인.
세나 기다려.
테이가. 야, 라인 루미야.
웨이트.
야, 떨어져야 돼.
웨이트 괜찮아.
야, 좀만 더 야.
웨이트 괜찮아.
가야 돼. 야, 좀만 더 야. 비야.
Well, not a bad effort.
Yeah, you would see a lot of teams worry about that yellow stone and maybe try to hit it and roll away, but so difficult not to leave a double for Canada, so that's a really
That or
good
control
positioning
feeling.
of stones.
Try and hit
Makes
as
it
thin as
tough
I
on
can.
Selena to deal with
Might
both
go
reds.
I think it's more useful.
Obviously
if I
trying
stick
to
with
freeze that
shooting.
yellow.
They
I think I
were.
throw easy and try
Probably
to
the
stick my
tolerance
shooter,
leaving it
even
a
if we
fit
keep
short
this
than,
one, this
than
one's probably
bouncing
so
off of it.
Yeah, I like that.
Easy.
Okay.
Really need to catch the inside here, the center line side of this red. Whoever knows or hit it high, you'll just jam it right on the yellow.
It's easy.
Yeah, I don't think that.
We're only really going to get rid of one of them, so yeah.
Okay.
Let's try and stick our shooter behind our center one.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not going to try to get rid of both. Still don't mind throwing a little bit more weight here, just in case you do catch the side of your yellow one. You'll still kill at least one red. With a quieter control weight, you might not get rid of both of these if you don't hit it absolutely perfectly.
Up. Easy up. Yep. Hard. Clean. Yep. Hard. Hard.
That's good.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit hard for Korea now to actually make a play on the shot stone if they ever wanted to hit and roll away.
It is a pretty tight hole, yeah.
Not sure if you can get a lot of separation. Looking at the double now. Not sure if they'll leave themselves shot stone. Our second shot with the shooter.
애매할 것 같은데.
Switches were anywhere on the inside of the rock. Yeah. That was kind of the biggest thing.
And that's what they're looking at.
너무 쉬워. 너무 쉬워. 너무 쉬워. 지금은 이제 좀 건드려야 될 것 같은데. 일단 이거 보자. 두 개? 일단 슈터가 사는 게 중요해. 1분에 그냥 여기까지로. 정말? 살짝 바깥쪽 놀 테니까 괜찮을 것 같아. 들어갈 것 같아.
They did decide on the double. They talked for a brief moment about maybe freezing in the pocket of the red and the yellow, and that would be a great result for Team Korea. Canada won't be able to do a whole lot with it. They might choose to guard, and then you can play a run back on that short yellow without too much risk because you'll be frozen on that yellow one. But choosing to play this double, I think you can sit two.
This one over curling. Hit and roll will be the option here. Doesn't leave a double back, at least for Canada.
I still like the same way with medium. Like we just saw it. I think that's good.
Sturmey seems to think things out. Very often she'll have a call in mind.
Yeah, that's key, to have that conversation with your third at the back of the rings, or even with yourself in your head if it's not your own shots. Saves so much time, so much debate. You're really confident in what you're doing, rather than walking up to the rings, taking a look, and then saying, oh, okay, what should we do?
Medium.
Whoa. Good medium. No.
Seemed like they were just wanting to hit and flop on top of their own rock here. But just hanging a bit wide. That's not too bad there, probably. Tried to switch up the call just a bit too late. If that ever rolls just a couple of inches to the left, there's no double.
No, even where it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there is one.
Tough to get by that top red one and still hit it where you need to make a double.
너무 어렵다. 시간 별로 없는데. 여기 맞아야 돼.
Have a look at it there.
중간 115.
That's tight.
I would say maybe.
Yeah.
When you're having to shave the red rock.
And you're risking giving up another steal of one here. Maybe even two.
Yeah, if you
Maybe even three.
chip your own red.
Yeah. But being down 4-0, is it worth taking the risk?
Seems like it is. At least for Korea.
아우터는 좀 아우터 안 돼. 아우터 공간이 아니야. 돌아서
Worst case scenario, you could
인턴이면 너무 내려가.
split out your own red without killing any yellows.
약한 왼쪽
Still 4.
아우터는 진짜 딱 맞아야 되고 인턴은 좀
아우터는 공간이 없어.
In a 10-end game, you're only in the 4th end.
약하게 쳐도 되잖아.
I think 1 point here is huge.
Could call a timeout as well. If you wanted a fifth opinion from your coach. It's a bit of a make or break situation here. The double is called. And it's the type of shot where you really have to go all or nothing. There's no point in playing this safe and giving away one. You might as well then play the nose hit. You really need to go for it and be close to that red rock. Just going to have a second look from the hack. She might change her mind.
어려워 보여.
안 돼.
She has.
Yeah, I don't think it's there. If it is there, it's
세이 맞으면 되지.
1 in 50 kind of shot. You're not out of this if you get a point here. This is a really key point.
클린, 얍. 얍.
really need to make this one. Get a point up on the scoreboard. It is made. Single point for Korea. See if they can do better without the hammer. Sometimes
이거 반?
that could change the momentum.
완전 칼라인이어야 되는데.
The score is 4-1 for Canada.
빨리빨리 하자.
지금 4인드 끝났지?
오엔드.
I cleared it, but I feel like I saw a 9. I remember seeing a 9.
Okay, I thought it was close to medium.
Yeah, I thought
I was just more back on release. Mine, I'm throwing more like they are, so that's why mine are carrying. And so, like, I don't think I'm gonna soften it up. So I'm just gonna like.
I've just been giving you less ice as well.
Yeah. So I just don't take my time for you guys.
Yeah. I'll fix my intern. Yeah.
줬어. 리리드 줬어. 라인 혜린이가. 많이를. 아직 기다렸다 와야 될 것 같은데. 왜 좋아. 라인이 많이 오프야. 많이를. 계속 와. 더 떨어져야 돼. 센터까지 가야 돼. 한번 더.
릴리즈 이렇게 하면 안 돼.
You're gonna be in good stuff out here. Yeah.
We'll be in good stuff out here. Fill me in, Laura.
So what she's talking about is the fresh pebble. The path in the middle, what we call the slide path, where most of the draws get played, gets a little bit worn down from a lot of sweeping. But when you come out this wide where they haven't played too often because they're coming around a center guard that's a little bit off of the center line, it can often run a little bit better because it hasn't been worn in. So it might slide a little deeper than they think, which it looks like this one is.
Yeah, it's still back 4, back 8.
Yep. Bring it. Oh, no, sorry. 14-1.
Sorry.
It's still a little heavy out there, too.
Yeah, just like built up too.
Did you like that release,
Or did you throw it okay?
발차기 좋아.
Fine, yeah.
Is that good?
오, 제발.
둘반.
손 많아. 이제 손 괜찮다. 둘반. 건들지 마. 죽고 있어. 둘. 건들지 마. 건들지 마. 죽고 있어. 라인 괜찮아. 건들지 마, 혜린아. 더 죽어야 돼. 둘.
And the second center guard just coming way too close to the first one.
Coming here because that's the way the double peel set up for.
coming around it that way.
If you get under, it's fine. You just can't be here. Okay.
Selena's worried about the double peel coming back into the rings, so she doesn't need to actually bury behind these ones at all. She has a 3-point lead. She could also split the rings over to the right-hand side, and then there'll be no issues with the potential jam on this double peel.
Line's good.
Yeah, also if she
Room.
feels you need to fully bury here to not
T back 4. Switch if you're gonna go.
sit in the crossfire of the red, you could maybe play the outturn here. You have tucked around that way.
Exactly.
Top 4, T.
Can be
T back 4.
tough sometimes not to get into a bit of tunnel vision. They just played this way, so you kind of want to just play the same way you just played, but it's where you can stop and really think about what you're trying to achieve and the easiest way to achieve that.
오케이.
준아 백티.
티 아웃.
기다릴게 루미야. 라인 룸. 라인 혜린이 여기 가. 혜린이. 여덟 혜린이 계속 가. 가고 있어. 혜린이만. 여덟.
가야 돼.
웨이트 가자. 라인 좋아. 웨이트 가야 돼.
Great come around there by Korea. Putting the pressure on Kate to make this double peel. See if it does what Selena was expecting it to.
Heel, lead. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Flirt.
Misses everything in the rings, clears out the front.
둘이야.
셋. 라인 많이 이름이야.
셋.
기다릴게.
좀 많이 내려가.
어디야?
셋.
다리는 안 들어오면 땡겨. 셋.
아직 기다려야 돼. 죽고 있어. 안 들어오게 땡겨. 혜린아, 더 와야 돼, 혜린아. 계속 와야 돼.
많이 보여.
더 와야 돼. 한 번?
If anything, it would have been better for Korea there to over curl the center line a little bit. More potential of jamming at the back if Kate could see the other side of this rock. This is framed for her to just play a nice hit and roll and miss everything at the back of the rings.
Yep.
It's really good. 11-6.
Great sweeping.
I feel like we've been seeing this at least since the second end. Just lots of Canadian rocks in the house, not a lot of Korean ones.
Just again with that rock placement, not too precise on the Korean side. The second center guard setting up a double peel for Canada. Not quite getting the line there on the next corner center guard attempt.
수진! 와.
Good news for Korea is they do still have a center line guard up at the front there just out of our screen. So they've got something to, oh, not for long. Selena's chosen to peel it.
Yeah, center line's definitely peaked. You guys brought that back a lot. Okay. Center line is definitely peaked.
2번! 핵!
Korea realizing this late in the end and no great rocks in the rings to guard. It's probably smart to start eliminating some Canadian stones. Sit two and try to get a force.
클리어! 기다릴게. 태희야 계속 가야 돼, 루미야. 아직 태희야 계속 와. 오케이. 자, 잘했어.
Actually, kind of weak. Sorry. Medium.
Medium?
Whoa. Medium down, easy up. No.
Good, medium.
Yeah, medium.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's okay. 9-8. 9-8. Good up.
9-8.
Well, not exactly what they're looking for there. So from Canada, line 3. Now a chance for Korea to come in and set 3.
Yeah, they're still not a huge danger of a steal for Team Canada because of there being no guards in play. But definitely the force is on.
할 거면 뒤로.
아닌 거 같아.
만약 실수하면 2점이야.
지금 우리 그냥 1점 주는 해야 될 것 같아. 열로 오면은 지금 따라 붙을 것 같아서.
아니 여기?
그냥 여기가 괜찮을 것 같아.
여기 하면 너무 쉽게 해주지.
여기 보여줘도 괜찮을 것 같아.
맞아, 여기가 나을 것 같아.
근데 첫 번째 샷인 거 생각해야 돼.
난 그래서 이거 생각했어. 그다음에
두 번째 샷이면 여기 할 것 같은데.
여기?
맞아. 아니 여기 지금 너무 더블이 너무 쉽게 나와서
오케이.
일단
빼자,
좀
그럼.
게 낫지 않을까? 얘네 따라 들어가면 얘네가 먼저 들어가면 그때 따라 들어가고 지금 우리가 먼저 들어가 버리면 괜히 따라 들어가는 그 주는 거 같아.
애들이 따로 들어올 것 같진 않아.
시간이 별로 없어, 근데.
그래서 뭐 하자고?
근데 나는 근데 만약에 여기 하면 얘네가 이거 칠 거 아니야. 그럼 우리가 또 치고 들어와야 돼.
이렇게 했을 때 더블 나오면 만약에 우리가 치고 세우면 일단
일로 가자. 센터 잡아줘.
그래.
날것 같아.
나 센터가 나을 것 같아.
나도 센터가 나을 것 같아.
The options they were discussing were whether or not to come around the rock top 8 or to split the rings, which it looks like they've decided to do.
센터로 가?
The option to split the rings is a really good option to make sure you get that force. Oh, looks like they've changed their mind. I do think this is a good call. I think you need to take your chances. Being down 3 without the hammer, they're probably worried about leaving Canada a double, but she still has to make it. Put some pressure on Canada here and get another rock in the forefoot.
세야 라인 아직 많이 놈이야.
계속 가자.
세야 계속 와. 까지 와. 좀만 더 가자. 세야 좀만 더 떨궈야 돼.
웨이트는
계속 가. 뒤까지 가.
조금만 더.
Same path, just staying straight for them. They've had that trouble a few times.
Straight on center.
Korea is just not matching up their line and their weight today.
시간이 없네.
그러게. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
그냥 하고 더블 주고.
근데 더블 안 쓰네.
Easy up. Easy. Good. Easy. Easy. Easy down.
Well, this one just hitting and rolling. Not quite out of the house, but Korea sitting 2.
많이 줄인 거다. 이건 숨기는 거 먼저.
Happened a couple times down that spot.
Yeah, not just that spot in particular. Selena's had a few out-turn hits that have ran pretty straight on her. So 5th end break coming up here. Good for them to discuss that pattern that they're seeing and what the reason for it is.
anywhere else. Yeah,
I think she just gave it to us. She said she could get away with that release anywhere else, but being right on the center line, that's a bit of a tricky spot that can run straight. So maybe felt she was a little bit extra positive, but elsewhere on the sheet, that would be a good throw. Fine to throw it like that, just need to tighten up the broom and be conscious of the spot that you're in.
라인 좋아. 웨이트 나가다. 웨이트 많이 써. 기다려줘.
나가면 안 되는데.
안 나가. 오케이. 샷.
라인 좁게 잡았어?
This one just slipping to the back of the 12. That's unfortunate, giving Canada quite a lot of room to draw to. Just needing full 8 foot really.
Again, that line and weight, she had great line on that one, but slipped a little bit deep on her first one. Great weight, but didn't get the line.
15.
Kind of need both.
You do if you're going to win a world championship.
No last stone, fifth end here.
Goes there.
Weight's good.
A little bit of pressure on Canada, but a lot of room to work with.
Back 4.
Sweeper's not really wanting to touch this one, but this one
Back 4. Back 8.
can be
Out.
back 8 and get
Back
shot.
12. Back
12 now. I wonder how far can this one slide. This is going to be a steal of one for Korea, I think. Lucky they had the backing.
Very lucky that was going through the rings.
Wow. Well, Korea, they are trying to turn this back around with a steal of 1 here. They're just trailing by 2.
She kicked that fast.
And that is a score. After 5, Canada up 4 to Korea's 2. We'll have a 5-minute break here. A good chance for both teams to talk about
13-7.
some of the problems they've been having through the first 5 ends. We'll be back with more. Third end. A tricky hit and roll for Kim Min-ji. Trying to roll into the forfeit, but just gets to nose, actually spins a yellow into the back 8. A steal of 2 for Canada.
Like a shot, 14-5.
Having them up 4-0. In the fourth end, looking at a very tough double. In the end, just opting for the nose hit to score the single. That is made by Kim Min-ji. In the fifth end, Korea finally getting something going as they lie 3, but a lot of room for Canada and Selena Sturmey. Comes up heavy though, lucky to have the backing. A steal of 1 for Korea means Canada leads at 4-2 after 5.
While our game is on a break, we'll give you an update on some of the other games going on here in Liverpool this evening. China has a 6-3 lead over Russia. United States up 4-1 over Scotland. Sweden leading Switzerland by a score of 5-0. And Norway up 4-1 over Japan.
그리고 여기서 1.7 당할 때도 너희 2엔드 때 지금 완전히 너무 빨리 결정한 거 알아? 도로로 그냥? 바로? 또?
네.
리샷인데?
네.
테이크를 할 건지 들어갈 건지 어느 정도 결정을 좀 어느 정도 한 상태에서 해야 되는데 그냥 땅 찍고 갔잖아. 그래 안 그래? 내가 그러지 말라 그랬잖아.
네.
너 시간에 좀 더 투자하라 얘기했잖아. 무슨 리드샷 던지듯이 던져버리잖아, 작전을. 그런 게 어딨어. 애들한테도 조금 더 얘기도 많이 하고.
I'm really hearing Keaton's beautiful.
What is that thing that he's using?
We think it's a kazoo. Sounds like a kazoo.
Get the binocs out and figure it out. Get the binocs out and figure it out.
Yeah. But I can't see that far. Maybe Helen's binoculars can get that far. I can't.
Get the extra zoom.
Okay, ladies, let's have a really strong finish. Okay, be patient, wait for your opportunities, and capitalize.
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
Taking a look at the percentages here through the first half, really quite an even game between the teams overall. It was just a couple of misses on the last stones for Korea that has put them in a 2-point deficit here playing the sixth end. But overall, both teams with a few struggles that they'll need to figure out here in the second half.
Whoa!
끝까지 괜찮아. 세다. 세. 기다려.
좋아.
아니야, 기다려야 돼.
잘 내려가.
세, 기다려, 세야, 루미야.
기다려줘. 많이를.
야, 많이 기다려야 돼.
Korea and Canada are back on the ice
들어온다.
for the second half of this evening game here in Liverpool, Nova Scotia.
잘했어.
You're watching live curling
Okay.
on the
So
World
You'll be
Curling
in the
TV
good
broadcast.
still thinking 14-8.
Okay.
Weights
It's
down.
a pleasure to be back in Canada for the World Juniors.
Tight, top 12.
Been over 10 years since last time.
Line's good, wide.
Tight.
Yep, keep going. Hard as far as it goes. Hard, Kate. You got it. Go. Get a bite. Hard, Kate. You got it. Go, buddy. Hard. You got it. Go.
16-6. Yeah.
수진아, 하나만. 약하게
몇
와.
나온 거야?
둘까지 괜찮아.
Coming up a bit shy here, the first one. See Kim Soo-jin has had a pretty good game.
아니야, 많이 세다.
Through the first 5 ends.
아니야, 기다려. 라인 괜찮아.
Can't blame her
라인 기다려.
too much for the scoreline. We see
수진이가 지금 릴리즈가 많이 세 보여.
putting up to center guards.
그냥 기다리자. 괜찮아. 기다려.
Second one came a bit too
괜찮아,
close earlier, and again, just the second center guard just coming a little too deep. Not too bad. There's still some separation there, but also a bit of an angle
Back 4.
for Canada to potentially make a double peel on those centers later on.
Canada will want to be a little bit careful with where they tap this yellow stone, though, because as we talked about in the last end, you want to be looking at where that double peel will go back into the rings. You'd hate to jam on your own stone.
Not bad. Back 4. Back 8.
Back 8.
Don't want to tap too far either.
Back 12.
Want to tap
Yeah,
it
we're
in the back of the
running
tee
like we're
line. This one is a little heavy, so it's not really going to curl as much as I was hoping for. Would love to at least move it, but it's right past and
13-3.
just quite heavy. The first one was 16-6. That one was 13-3. Just a huge overcorrection.
Here. Okay.
Sometimes that's when you're sitting there thinking, "Okay, I need to tap the stone," you end up just giving it just a bit too much.
Yeah, that's a natural tendency. You really want to just think about playing it like a draw, letting your sweepers do the work. You don't need to think about any extra weight.
Johnny Tae playing 70% so far. Coming up short here.
안쪽이야, 민지야? 안에서 그런
약해서 그런 거 같아.
2/3.
비어.
Clean. Yep. Clean. Yep. Hard, Abby.
Well, look at him go.
Really nice shot by Kate to clear out the front.
Basically just opened everything.
화이팅.
Yep. Hard, Abby.
That one hit too.
해준 거?
야. 4, 6. 라인 좋아. 7.
라인 좋아.
라인
너무
좋아.
약간
need to add a couple of feet on the first shot here. Young Tae looks pretty good. Wraps around that center guard fully buried. Nice draw.
Yeah, even with that triple peel from Kate Goodhelpson, still a guard for Korea to work with.
Yep.
Peel.
Clean.
If Korea can keep putting a good guard on this red rock here, even though it is only in the 12-foot, if it's guarded, it's good enough to force Team Canada, which would be a pretty good outcome for Korea here.
괜찮아. 둘.
기다리자.
둘반. 셋. 셋넷.
들어갈 것 같아.
아니야.
떨어졌어.
가드가 중요해. 최대한 기다려.
들어가. 100% 들어가. 뒤로 당겼어.
아니야. 기다려.
Oh boy. That one comes way too deep. Looking for a guard and now just leaving a double for Canada. Can't afford those mistakes. That could have been really anywhere between the hog line and the house. Be a lot better.
Yeah, just simply overthrown. Korea has a lot to figure out with their weight control here on some of these draws. Might get lucky here though.
Actually quite lucky as that red just spins into the forfeit from Abby Marks.
Another outturn on the center line that Team Canada has missed on the high side. This is where it can be tough as a skip because you're seeing the person throw at you and you can think that, you know, they were a little bit back or a little bit wide. Someone on the team just has to speak up and say, we're seeing this pattern. We've seen it under curl time after time after time. Let's just tighten that broom up. You know you can use your sweepers.
I agree. Except Abby Marks a lefty, so it's an intern.
The counterclockwise turn around the center line.
Yes.
I got it.
Better weight control this time. Not sure if they quite got the line. It's pretty good. You can see the skipper, Selena, just putting the broom down on the shot rock there. Just trying to figure out how much they can see from the hack. Now this is when the lefty hack comes into handy. You can see she's coming from the other hack that the right-handed players come out of. And you'll actually see just a sliver more of the red rock here.
Coming at it from a bit of an easier angle with Abby's intern because she is left-handed.
Well, should you consider that when icing for the guard if you're Korea?
I think so. I think that if you're going to show them one half, you should show them, you know, the half that would be a little bit tougher for Abby to see from her hack.
I think it's easy to forget sometimes, maybe.
Especially if you don't have a lefty on your team. It's not really something that you're ever thinking about.
Can't quite make the roll back.
Or yes, you if you're easy here, but
It's a good attempt. I mean, those are hard.
I think, yeah.
Those are very hard. If you think just rolling one more rock, even half a rock, and she at least gets partially buried behind that center line guard, that's a difference of only about an inch or two on the shot stone. Hit and rolls are very precise shots, especially when you're rolling behind just a single guard like that.
I'm going to throw a bump here. I don't think mine's going to curl like Abby's. Just roll away to like mid-8.
Bump, little up, bump up, lead, bump up, lead, yup, bump up, lead, bump up, whoa, up, bump up, yup, forward, forward, whoa.
That's pretty perfect from Selena. She wanted to roll that away so that Korea couldn't play a freeze in the middle and take their end away. She's rolling all the way behind that far corner guard.
40. 여기까지 와야 되는데. 컨트롤.
번번은 아니겠지?
컨트롤. 이 사이드. 컨트롤로 올게.
This is a tricky little hit. You'll leave Selena the blank. Considering the scoreboard, they didn't even talk about just drawing around that center line guard that's in play there. You only really have to be fully in the 12-foot behind it to force Selena to draw for her one. This is pretty precise. If you overcurl it all, Canada all of a sudden has an open draw for two.
Are they thinking it's okay for Canada to blank the sixth? And rather force them in 7, try and get control of the even end?
They could be, but they're still down 2 points without the hammer. This is a pretty big opportunity for them to maybe even steal if they make a good draw behind that center line guard.
We'll see if they can make the roll. Not quite. Just going to roll all the way out, making life very easy for Canada. We'll most likely see them just throw this one through.
Yeah, with how little you could see of that rock in the rings, rolling out will happen more often than not, I think. Which is okay if they're okay with Canada blanking, which they obviously are, but I think they had a pretty big opportunity there to put some pressure on.
Just throwing this one through to blank the end. The first blank of the game here in N6. So Korea still leads at 4-2.
진아, 너 가드 더 약하게 차야 돼. 지금 들어올랑 말랑하니까. 첫 번째, 그리고 두 번째 거 하나 할 때 좀 더 약하게 차고. 계속 너무 가까이 붙으니까 더블플 너무 쉽게 나오고.
스윙 스로를 줄여야 되나 봐.
그럴 것 같아. Alright, we are perfect. What just happened?
Keep it simple. I just shouldn't have said what I said.
That's okay. I'll hopefully make my shot.
Pretty perfect.
Yeah, I like that.
Center guard in play from Korea.
Yeah, our first ones have been going in great spots. It's been the second one that she's struggled with, often coming a little bit too deep. See if she can adjust on her second one here and throw it just over the hog line.
Line's good. T-liner better. Hair
Paige
down.
Papley asked to
Top
draw
eight.
the wing here. What's
T-line.
the
Not curling.
upside
Keep.
of that call?
It does, as we just talked about, that blank. Selena, this is getting late in the game now. Selena will be trying to jockey for position to have the hammer and the even ends. So by playing this draw to the wing, it keeps the play into the house, keeps the middle a little more open, and does keep the blank alive for her to take hammer into the 8th end. By coming around the middle, even if you make it perfect, Korea can then establish an angle on you, and by staying in front of you in the rings, you're kind of always in trouble. So let Korea get in there first, and you can always play an angle on them.
안 올려도 돼. 혜린이. 그냥 기다려. 그냥 기다려야 돼. 많이 내려가. 많이 내려가야 되는데. 약간 더 내려가. 그냥 약간 더 내려가. 하나 반.
잘했어.
Wait, pretty perfect. Just didn't quite curl enough.
She's had that issue a few times with her second one,
Yeah.
just not getting the same line. I wonder if the rocks are a little bit mismatched. Either the first one curls a bit or the second one's a little bit straight.
Sometimes you see just
Line's good.
you'll get more finish with a longer throw on ice. I'm not sure if we've been seeing that this week. So sometimes just throwing a long guard and then a tight guard, same line, just getting a little bit different curl.
Yeah, sometimes when you're bringing it deeper, like those tight guards are, it'll finish a bit more. We say all the finish is at the end. So the break point would be late. And because it just doesn't have the speed on it with those high guards to keep bringing it further, you're just not getting the same amount of curl. So Korea might just have to tighten up the broom even on that second high guard to get to the same place as the tight one.
Paige Papley coming up very deep with her second one here. Ends up in the back 12. They were hoping to take a bit more control of the forefoot around those center guards. Now Young Tae with a chance to get there first. Not sure if the freeze was the call here. I think maybe just calling an audible.
Yes, I think it was their plan B. They knew it was going to be heavy, so bring it right to that back one. More draw weight struggles in this game. So just a single peel for Kate Good-Helpson, but does avoid contact with her own rock in the rings at the back.
I just have 0 contact with Molly. That's okay.
오케이. 한 거야?
야, 칼 컸어.
가야 될 것 같아. 일곱,
타이트!
여섯.
라인 안 타이트! 라인 먼저 가. 안 불러도 돼. 라인 먼저 가야 돼. 수진아 라인 계속 가야 돼. 조금만 더.
셋.
수진아 좀만 더.
셋이야, 셋.
더 가야 돼. 더 가야 돼. 계속 가.
풀어줘야 돼. 풀어줘야 돼.
짭짭짭짭짭짭짭.
Does come up short, but actually stops in a place that makes the double peel a little bit more difficult than if it had stayed on top of it and staggered. Selena will probably try to make both go away and roll her shooter up, as we say,
to throw it
and out of
hard.
play. With this, though, she'll want to be careful as to where this second red one gets bumped to. If you don't hit as much of it as you want to, you could actually bump it into the rings towards your yellow one. Just like that. But I believe it's only 4th shot, so it doesn't do too much damage. Gets it out of the front of the house to a much less dangerous position. see it again. Hit the first one just a little bit too thick to make the shot that was called, but still a great result.
비슷해 보이긴 해. 일단 가드.
5, 6? 6? 오케이.
세다.
쉽지 않았어?
여기. 하나. 괜찮아. 수진이가 와.
라인 수진이야.
수진이가 와.
수야 라인 많이 이름이 아직.
라인이 많이
가.
있어요.
저 라인 떨어져야 돼. 민지야 껴. 더 가자. 야 비압. 더 가야 돼. 더. 수진아 너 쪽 가. 계속 가. 더. 이제 좀만 더.
오케이. 잘했어.
몇 났어?
Back here.
Heel.
Yup. Hard. Clean.
7-2.
You'll see Korea just continue to put this center guard up, probably until their skip's last stones, where they'll try to sit 2 in the rings and force Team Canada.
라인만 볼게.
라인 수진이야. 수진.
They do know Canada will walk up and peel, but it's about delaying your move into the rings as long as possible.
라인.
클린. 라인 줘.
오.
아니야,
테이크
라인
네오.
줘. 라인 줘.
좀만 가자. 비압.
오. 잘했어.
As Selena steps up to play the peel on that center line guard, we'll take a look at the games going on here tonight in Liverpool. China up 7-4 on Russia in the 7th end. The United States leads Scotland by a score of 5-3, also in 7. Sweden up 5-2 on Switzerland, playing the 7th end and also in 7. Norway leads Japan by a score of 6-2.
Close. Yup. Hard.
Pretty cheeky one there.
Yeah, that was a little bit lucky to not make contact with anything in the rings, but gets away with one there for sure.
근데 치고 가는 게 낫지 않아? 너무 더블 나오지 않아? 살짝 푸시만.
That red one just missing contact through that hole with both yellows by a paper.
I think you saw Selena sweeping with the wrong end of the broom head there.
That happens sometimes with those gold line brooms. They just get flipped the wrong way, and that plastic edge is so close to the ice that all of a sudden you're sweeping with plastic.
Looks like the hit was indicated, not sure though. That could be the ice for both.
Yeah, they were talking about the hit. Looks like they want to just sit 2 and have the force on for Team Canada to have to draw for their single point.
You both said 2.
A가 스테이 아니었어?
자, 타이트 하긴 하지. 나는
네, 네가 분리되면서 올린 거야.
아 그래? 안 올린 줄 알았다.
와 여기 진짜 타이트한데 손 진짜 안 간다. 손이 안 올라가는 게.
많이 올라갈까 봐.
Hair more.
was trying to roll that actually the other way
오케이.
in front of that red one. I was a little unsure when she asked Abby Marks to open up the broom. We had just seen Korea throw down that spot. Broom was right in the middle of the rock, and she actually hit it right on the nose. Selena took more ice than that, trying to over curl it. And we have seen her counterclockwise turn run pretty straight this game.
B가 근데 6시에 좋을 것 같아. 6, B 7.
So Korea just going to put this one top 8. You'd
빨간색으로
probably
나가야 돼서.
like to have this one, if anything, on the left-hand side of the center line as we see it.
아니 세미가 그냥 붙여버려.
On the right-hand side, there might be a double left for 2 for Canada that way.
Yes, by going onto the left-hand side, that double has a better opportunity of jamming at the back.
Also, you don't want to have this one slide so deep that Canada can make a nose hit for the single. Just for late. Seems to have a bit of running on it.
괜찮아. 라인 좋아.
여기 흘리네. 얍. 오. 얍.
Looks pretty good.
샷.
Well, I would have liked that for the curl just a tad more, but we can see Selena Stormé not taking on the double here.
Yeah, I think she knows the risk of hitting it a hair high, rolling your shooter away, and then double jamming at the back.
14-8.
I mean,
Probably still only give up one though that way, even if you do dead jam it. So your shooter sticks around.
I don't know. Feels like maybe worth the risk in 7.
And with the scoreboard, I would agree with you. Worst that happens is a steal of 1, and you have hammer in the 8th end.
Yep. Can miss the draw as well. It's not a gimme.
Back 4. Hair tight.
Never make the double DR golden.
Line only.
The draw is the call.
Woo. Yep. Need the backing.
Last stone here in 7.
Yep. Port. Woo. Back 12.
Oh, heavy. So hoping to get down on the backing here for the 1. Just enough, I think. I think she got away with it. It is 1 yellow. Phew.
Phew. Yeah, lucky she had that backing. There's been a couple of times she's been a bit heavy on her open draws at the end of the end, using the backing.
진짜 우리 거 뭔 줄 알았는데.
A single point for Canada. They lead it 5-2.
너 콜하면서 여기까지 콜하다가 점점 콜이
I would
없어져가지고.
say 5-13. It was
It
close.
was very similar to the last one you threw.
It was like probably through. Like it was more than pages.
You know what? It's fine though.
It's okay.
It's all good. We're still protected.
Yeah, let's keep it simple.
But me and Paige will find for all mage.
Lots of room.
Top
Switch if
4.
you're gonna go. Switch.
Top 4.
Whoa.
I think we're okay.
Not moving. Not curling lots.
Top 4.
T 15-2. I honestly think this path is good.
Yeah.
I think it's just the other one.
It got faster after they mopped.
3 ends to go as Korea play Canada. Korea with last on advantage here. Would quite like to score 2, maybe even a 3 to tie the game.
Yeah, 2 for sure keeps them in this.
조금만 더.
Hold. Okay. Top forward.
Taking a look at both leads here. Paige has been really struggling a little bit with her draw weight, as you saw that 63% on draws.
Where? Halfway tight. Switch, Len. Switch. Tight. Gotta switch. Half tight. Yep. Hard Kate.
Seems like she's starting to get it figured out here as two great rocks to start this end. Really nice setup for Team Canada. Goes such a long way to get ahead and make the other team chase you when you can set up an end that way. Seems like Paige has found a way to figure it out.
자, 자꾸 튀면 안 돼. 여덟. 일곱. 아니야, 여덟 안 돼. 일곱. 여섯. 라인 좋아, 라인 좋아. 일곱. 웨이트 나가. 야, 짠. 가야 돼. 뒤로 웨이트 와야 돼. 웨이트 와야 돼. 뒤로 웨이트가 와야 돼. 좀만 더. 계속 와, 계속 와. 계속 와. 더 와야 돼, 뒤로. 조금만 더. 더. 잘했어.
했어야 되는데.
Not getting fully frozen, but a really good angle for Team Korea. Keeping that angle is often more important than making the freeze. Getting it a piece behind it so Canada really can't deal with it at the moment, unless they play a run back on their own red stone, yellow stone out front. But choosing to play a guard and put some pressure on.
Hard. Little down. Hard. Over it up. Over it up.
Whoa, take a look, guys.
Over
Take
it
a
up.
look.
Just high. High. High half. High. Just past this. Half. That's good. 17-5. That's good, really good.
이것만 열까?
인턴으로 붙이는 건 별론가? 아, 그런가?
뭐라고?
열자, 필!
여기?
필!
어.
아,
아니면 얘만 열까?
하나만.
아니면 이것도 있긴 한데.
이거 여는 게 낫지 않니? 아, 오케이, 두 개 같이 보자.
근데 이게 살아야 돼. 이게 노말?
I like what Korea's trying to do here. Remove both of the yellow rocks out front, but maybe hang your shooter out on the side for a second corner guard. Kate does have the edge here at the second position. Again, it's the struggles with the draws that are hurting Team Korea here. A lot of players out here this evening, just not able to find their draw weight. This one also,
가지마, 혜린아.
oh, just caught enough of it and hung on even maybe a usable rock later on. So really well called shot too to get that line call to stick that shooter over there.
Easy, clean. Yep.
Easy.
Yep. Clean. Whoa.
오.
Close. Yep. Hard. Under. Whoa. Ah. 10-5. Sorry, that's my bad. Fucking not terrible. That's all.
라인 타이트한데.
여섯!
라인
여섯!
라인 줘, 웨이트만.
여섯! 일곱! 여섯!
클린만.
일곱! 여덟! 뒤로 가야 될 것 같은데?
아니야, 기다려. 라인 줘.
라인.
여기나 가리네. 짠.
Not sure she got fully buried there, but a pretty good effort. Enough buried, it looks like Selena might just play the peel.
I have more of this one than that one.
It's really whatever you see. We can play it with bump, or you play that.
I don't know.
I think I'd rather peel than play the angle.
Okay.
We can get
I
it
like
coming
this way.
Bump.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is the
this.
smart call, because if you ever tick the guard coming this way, you just move it out of the way, roll your shooter in towards the middle. If you try that slash on the outside yellow that they're looking at and you tick that top red guard, you're moving an opposition stone in towards the middle and maybe giving them a centerline guard or another rock in the rings.
Good bump. Clean. Good bump. Clean. Whoa, 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 whoa. Heat. 10-8.
Can't miss that wide. Peel there was just fine with the scoreboard.
얘는 50. 하나 더 들어갈까? 푸시로.
푸시보다 그냥 딱 프리즈가 제일 좋아.
아, 오케이.
Definitely a chance for Korea to maybe set up for a 3.
푸시할 거면 내가 백티까지 넣어야 돼. 일단 프리즈 보고 라인 좋으면 푸시할게.
Looking to tap their own red here. Need to be very careful.
Yeah, if they're trying to tap and they come close, could roll off that yellow one and leave a double. Both thirds quite even this evening as far as percentages go. Neither player having their best game. It's been a little bit of a struggle for both teams. Putting the broom in the right place. It seems like when they do have the broom in the right place, their weight's a little bit off. Just not quite getting this sheet of ice figured out as they need to.
태희야. 맞아야 돼. 들리네.
Plan B.
좀 많이 내려왔다.
Works just fine.
Yeah, I think that probably sits for a third shot as well.
얘들아 왜 이렇게 잘 봐?
That works.
몇 나왔어? 잘 내려오는데 혜린이 거. 혜린이 거 gonna wait. Are we peeling or like?
If you get the guard, that's the miss.
I barely have any of it.
Looking for the slash here on the yellow.
Yeah, I'm really not sure why. Abby just threw the hit on the other red one. She could roll it into the middle and sit 2. She just saw it come down the sheet. Now you're forcing her into a brand new path barely anyone's played.
Yep. Hard. Hard.
Holloran's supposed to hit the guard here. She won't. She'll make that slash.
And just spun in, I think, for a second, which is huge.
Real good shot by Abby Marks.
Yeah, it is second shot. Did the best she could with that one. Great shot.
하나 붙여.
한 번 더? 한 번 더.
푸시가 하나 좋으면 푸시.
오케이. 여기가 좋을 것 같아. 혜린아 웨이트 맞춰야 돼. 뭐래?
프리즈. 붙이는 거. 수진아.
줄였다.
줄였어?
줄였어.
웨이트
좀더 줄인 것 같아.
라인 좋으면 푸시해도 되니까 준비하고 있어.
노란색 프리즈지. 라인 잡아.
왜 좋아?
라인 좋아. 그 안쪽만 적어. 안쪽만 적어. 루미야. 네, 계속 가. 라인 아직 많이 와. 계속 가, 계속 가. 좀만 더 가야 돼. 좀만 더, 좀만 더.
This one coming up short for
프로 안 했나?
Kim Hye-rin.
I don't think it changes the call either way, whether it's shot or not.
Yeah, I really needed to get one there. She could have even afforded a tiny tap on that yellow one and sat second and third.
You said we are sitting? Like in the forefoot? We're sitting 2. I think I like that better. We can
Like
salsa guard, but
I like this. I kind of like this though.
I don't mind
Like
it
not
there.
too ballsy. I like 14, 8, 15. If I was a 15, 9.
Yeah, I like 14.
Yeah, I know 15.
6 feet less than my draw here.
Yeah.
Okay. Even 8. Yeah. As long as we're behind T, like.
Okay. At like 6.
Okay.
Even 6 to 8.
Okay.
Line's good.
Wait, close.
Back forward.
Cube.
Tight, yeah.
Cube. Back forward.
Hard. 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 Hard.
Back 8.
Back
Forward.
Back 12. Hard. Hard.
Back 8. Back forward.
Hard. Hard. Keep going. Hard. 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 Yep. Straight up.
Looking pretty good here from Selena Storme.
Good sweep, guys.
Dead freeze onto the red one. Good sweep by Papling. Good Helpson.
Real good.
Again, the skip's also pretty even here. Just a couple key misses from Kim Min-ji early in the game that created the early deficit for Team Korea. But since then, Selena's had a couple of misses as well, mostly on her draw weight. So this game is
여기만 와도
a little bit closer than the scoreboard indicates.
아예 할 거면 붙이는 게 나을 것 같은데. 이것 때문에. 아예 열로.
I think the 3 is out of the window.
프리즈.
Yeah, that's why Selena played that freeze. Take that back red one out of play. Pretty flat to make a double, but she may be able to roll into it and only move that side yellow a couple of inches. And sit the 3, so that's why Selena came down there. Take the back red out of play. Now it's never going to score.
I think we'll see a similar shot from Kim Min-ji here. Come all the way down, freeze that back yellow. Try and set up for her 2 that way. Not touching this one. Oh, heavy. Can afford to be heavy if it curls enough.
루미야 아직. 루미야.
Really need the line. Need to get to the face of this yellow. I don't think it's going to. Just gonna bounce off. Not coming together for Korea here.
And then she can't.
몇 나왔어?
In a case like that where you know you can be all the way to the back one, you probably know you're not going to throw it light. You might want to tighten up the broom a little bit just to allow for that and let your sweepers do some work.
약했으면 라인 좋았을 것 같아.
Easy.
Wanting to nose hit here.
I'm gonna throw medium, same ISO.
That way,
I just don't want to
Korea
put-
can't nose hit the shot stone. 4-1. And have to nose hit the thrown rock by Storme here.
Medium up. Medium up. Queen. Whoa.
Hanging a bit wide.
Okay, that's good. Fine.
So with that, Korea can actually make the nose hit on the stone top 4. Facing 4 Canadian counters though.
범퍼야. 빨리 갈게.
A miss here and the game's over. Score a single, still a bit of a hill to climb.
클린. 기다려. 라인 좋아.
Last stone 8 and
라인 좋아.
Kim Min-ji makes the nose hit, scores a 1. Canada still leads it 5-3 with 2 ends to go.
좀 빨리 해야겠다.
민지 너 첫 번째 거 우리 뛰어갔는데도 도착 안 했는데 찬 거 알아?
시간이 너무 없어서 내가 계속 빨리 차게 돼.
너무 없는 것까지는 아니야.
Real good. In the 8th. Same though. Alright, we're protect. Keep it simple. Edger tick. Yep. Selena and I will keep our draw weight. Yeah, I like that.
down there.
Yeah.
And then Paul's up there.
There's no K in violin.
Paul is a hand fighter.
불반. 라인 잡아.
라인 넉넉해.
불반.
혜린이.
라인
라인
좋아.
괜찮아.
라인 좋아. 세이.
세이가.
둘.
야.
하나
할것 같아. 기다려.
하나 반.
반.
하나방 괜찮아. 기다리자, 루미야 기다리자. 잘했어.
샷.
Ninth end and Korea, they're back to stealing mode. Down 2 without the hammer here. Might have to steal 3 ends in a row to win this game.
Tight.
아래를
Little tight. Top 12, top 8. Top 8. Line's good.
Top 12.
We're just gonna come
tight,
around
top 12.
8.
Whoa.
Line's tight, just top 8, just top 8. Full 8. Just full 8. Just full 8, just full 8. 15-3, just tight line, tried to get it back, but didn't.
Historically, Canada is the team to have picked up the most medals. An abundance of medals, actually, at the World Juniors for women. 12 gold medals, 8 silvers, 8 bronze. Just ahead of Scotland in second. It was Julie Sutton to pick up the first gold medal back in 88 when it was first hosted in Chamonix, France.
These Canadian girls might be feeling a bit of extra pressure even knowing the history that Canada has had at the World Juniors.
Won 4 out of the 5 last years. Canada. It's Caitlin Jones is ranked last year.
See Team Canada now take a run at the tick shot. Move one of those red guards off the center line.
Yup.
Really hard.
Clean. Clean. Yup. Whoa.
Back up.
Yup. 4. Really nice.
Of course, one of the Liverpool locals was close to winning the juniors back in 2004.
Who was that?
Jill Brothers, or you might know her as Jill Mauser.
At the Scotties right now, I believe, for Team Nova Scotia.
Yeah. Runner-up in 2004 in Quebec. Lost to Norway.
And is that Norway's only?
Only gold
Yeah.
for both boys and girls at the World Juniors.
샷. 몇 나왔어?
See Team Canada here try to keep this end as open as possible. Make sure Selena has a shot on her last one. It's a key thing for this team to think throughout this end. It's what Selena's shot for one is. You want to make sure she has something makeable on her last one. Keep control of this game.
Oof.
웨이트 좋아.
먼저 가. 하나.
수진.
하나 번. 안쪽 먼저. 안쪽. 한 명만.
수진아 바로 센터 와야 돼.
웨이트 좋아. 라인
계속
가자.
와, 수진아.
웨이트. 라인 좋아. 웨이트 가.
클린. 웨이트 좋다. 센터 붙여줘. 조금만 더. 얍. 샷. 잘했어. 이건? 5번.
No troubles there, peeling that off. We'll see this cat and mouse game continue probably for another rock or two, and then you'll see Korea try to come around everything maybe into the forefoot.
수로 있다. 조율 기다려. 준이야 웨이트.
웨이트 좋아. 아니야, 턴 많아. 기다려. 웨이트 좋아.
라인 룬.
라인이 많이 오프야.
준이야 만져가. 라인 좋아. 조금만 더 가면 돼.
준아, 그냥 웨이트 오자. 조금만 더 오자.
조금만 더. 더.
계속 와.
네. 못 났어?
Cute little Canadian fan in the stands there. Seems like he's really into the game right now.
Might be pushing the red one in.
Oh, double off. Doubles off the guards here. 1 and 2.
That guard may have seemed harmless over there on the side, but now it opens up both sides for Selena to play a draw to the forefoot should she need to later on in this end. So it's key to remove both of those rocks in a great shot.
수야 만져가. 라인 룬이야.
라인 내려가. 둘. 하나.
라인 아직 많이 룬.
하나 반. 둘. 수진아, 그냥 와. 계속 와. 웨이트 어디야? 수진이 나오면 될 것 같아.
계속 가자. 계속만 더 가자. 수진아 진짜 많이 가자.
조금만 더 가야 돼. 조금만 더. 굿세이브. 나이스.
Pretty good guard. Don't think the double's on for Canada. They'll just have to peel the top one.
No, they could actually look at maybe peeling the tight one, as I think the tight one's a little more dangerous to them, but nothing wrong with just getting rid of the high guard.
At some point, Korea's going to have to come around both the rocks here. Seems to be now.
Yeah, I think now's the right time.
They want to get it probably back 4, fully buried. Leave it just T-line on the side of the button. That might be just that slash on the yellow for Canada.
Yeah, keeps some separation here. Get it to the back 4. Even if Canada does make the little tap or slash, you might still have the button exposed to play a freeze.
This one is looking a bit light from Kim and Ji. Again, a team sweep, but now just holding up, thinking, well, might as well leave a guard. Not the greatest attempt we've seen from Kim and Ji.
No, and that yellow one for Team Canada is in such a good spot.
Not peeling any guards anymore.
There's really no need to mess with that situation because of how good the yellow one is for you. It's tough for Korea to put this in any place where you can't use your yellow one. And if Selena puts one top 8, as she just mentioned.
We just have to cut down that path. Like, we don't have to be fully buried. I'd actually rather be half open.
Okay.
It's really hard for them to bury without
Okay.
coming around back 4, so.
Important to know when to make that switch from defense to offense.
Yeah, very important. Sometimes you can do it too early and end up getting yourself into trouble. You might see this juicy draw here earlier in the end and take a run at it. Just takes one good shot with that many rocks in play and all of a sudden you're hooped.
Wait,
Waiting till skips rocks is
little
a great time with this 2-point lead.
Line's fine, line's good.
Top eight.
Yep, line's
Top
good.
eight. Line only.
Line's fine.
Line's
Whoa,
good.
whoa.
Yep. Tight. Top 12. Yep. Line's good. Line's good. Line's really good. Top 8. Top 12.
I think they'll be pretty happy with this result.
Yeah,
Just takes away that in-turn draw.
it's a great spot. Might be able to draw wide around everything, but I'm not sure you can get enough of the forefoot.
I think you might need to play the out turn here on the left-hand side, try and get half buried, hope for a miss, maybe. Looking at the run back if it's on. Don't think so.
Now, like you said, you don't have to fully bury this.
많이 안 갈 것 같은데.
The out turn.
타임 줄까?
Timeout called by Korea.
타임.
일단 시간이 너무 없어서 쓰고 가는 게 나을 것 같아.
쓰는 게 나을 것 같아. 시간 진짜 너무 짧아. 어? 뭐라고? 뭐라고? 아니요.
아니 그 노란 색깔 보이니까.
잠깐만. 너 별로 안 보여. 안 보일 것 같아. 10. 해도 안 될 것 같아.
안 보일 것 같긴 해. 나 진짜 할 게 없어. 이거 다 막혀서.
저게 60에서 70? 65? 60? 아, 70까지 안 보여. 60? 7번이 한 10? 20? 20 보일 것 같은데. 10!
와우.
이게 60?
아,
맞나? 60. 저거 빨간 거 타이트한 걸 이렇게 보는 거 보면 같이.
그럴 바에는 치는 게 낫지.
치고 빼.
어쨌든 2점이야.
네.
이거 치고 올려도 얘네 오픈 들어간단 말이야. 드로우가 너무 어려워.
일단 칠까요?
치고 일단 1번 만들어야지.
네.
타이트하면 그냥 바로 맞고 치고 일로 올리는 거야.
네.
알았어?
네.
해도 가자.
어차피 어쩔 수 없어. 2점밖에 없어. 그 다음에 2점 따고 마지막에 1점 딴다 생각을 해. 야, 그냥 잘해.
일단 쳐.
That was coach Lee Sun-jun.
좋으면 그거다.
Didn't seem to find much else than the girls could see. Almost a bit of a chuckle over the situation there. How little they really have to do here. Not sure about this call.
좀 약한 핵이지?
No, I'm a bit puzzled as to what they're actually attempting to do here.
I think they're just going to play the hit and roll here and try and set shot. That's what I thought. And just hope for Canada to roll out maybe. Get the force that way.
Even still, you're down 3. I really think they needed to take a chance here, and I think you could have got to the back forefoot and be.
This one's all over the front,
Yeah.
red. And this might just be game over right here. Canada lying 2. They'll have a chance to draw for 3.
아 미안해.
바로 B 보지. 좁아진 거 안 될 것 같아.
Not sure if Kim Min-ji was fully invested in that shot.
No, I know it was definitely tough to get fully buried in the forefoot there around that rock biting the top of the forefoot, but I think you could have at least got half buried and put some serious pressure on Team Canada.
첫 번째 샷이 안 들어가지고.
Now just an open draw for 3.
That would put Canada 5 points ahead with 1 end to go. I'd be very surprised if we see another end in this game.
Line's good.
Might very well be the nail in the coffin here for Korea.
Count, Korea,
And this one's looking pretty good. On its way down, just some light dusting from Papley, and good helps in 1, 2, and 3. Points for Canada. And that is game over. Korea will concede this one. Pretty good performance overall by Canada. It wasn't quite the Korean team we're used to seeing. I'm sure they'll be coming back stronger, maybe already tomorrow.
Back home. Hi, Sophie. Hi, Brent. Hi, Evan. I give Evan a shout out.
Yes, Evan.
Canada play Switzerland tomorrow in the only
Dad.
women's
Leave it
session.
wrong. Oh, no.
Korea will take on Norway.
Hi, Dad. Hi, Ross. Hi, my dad.
Actually, the Switzerland-Canada game is our live game tomorrow at 2 o'clock local time here in Liverpool, Nova Scotia. Seventh end,
Not by a whole heck of a lot.
Korea sitting 2. Not opting for the double, just drawing for the single here.
Should be okay.
Selena Sturmey comes up deep, just enough to score the one, and a 3-point lead. In the 8th end, it's all Canada. Kim Min-ji faced with a nose hit for 1. That is made,
좀 빨리 해야겠다.
but Canada still in front. In the 9th end, with Canada sitting 2.
Down.
Line's good.
It's just an open draw to score a 3 and put this game to bed for the Canadians. They pick up another win here in Liverpool. 8-3 the final score.
Abby. She's coming. Hi, everyone back home. Hi, Sophie. Hi, Brent. Hi, Evan.
Taking a look elsewhere, we see all other games are still ongoing. China is up 8-7 on Russia. It's a tied game between Scotland and the United States. Switzerland leads Sweden 6-5. Norway looking in control over Japan with a 7-3 lead. So those are all the teams in the competition and how they stack up right now. Switzerland on top with the 4 wins, could climb to 5. China, Russia, Canada, Korea, all at 3 at the moment. Sweden at 2 and 2. Norway, Scotland, USA at 1 and 3. While Japan, no wins, looking not great against Norway. We have a winning skip with Laura Walker.
Congratulations on your win out there, Selena. You got out into a pretty early lead in that game, and Korea slowly was chipping their way back. How do you stay focused in a battle like that?
Yeah, I think just really playing the scoreboard in that situation and kind of knowing when to bail really helped us that game.
And you're here as Team Canada in Canada playing the World Juniors. Lots of fan support in the stands. What's it feel like to play a World Juniors on home soil?
Yeah, it's definitely been amazing thus far. It's great to hear everybody in the crowds cheering for you and just repping Canada gear. So to know that we have the crowd behind us and all of Canada behind us is just an unreal feeling.
And repping that Canada gear, you have the maple leaf on your back. Do you feel a bit of extra pressure here at all this week with that?
I think we'd be lying if we said no, but we just want to go out and curl well and do as best as we can and represent Canada as well as we can here.
I think you've done that. Good luck tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, if you're a Canada fan, you'll see more of them tomorrow on the live broadcast here from Liverpool, Nova Scotia. They play Switzerland at 2 o'clock local time. Come back for that one. Lots more curling left from here.
She's coming. Hi everyone back home. Hi Sophie. Hi Brent. Hi Evan.